ladies and gentlemen, Backlash 2023 came to us in Puerto Rico. I thought it was pretty good. Kevin, we'll get your thoughts in a moment. This is our Elite Heat review, reaction, honest thoughts, our long form podcast. Over to you, Kevin. Talk to it.
Oh man, this lived up to the hype in a lot of ways, which we're gonna talk about in depth. But a lot of things that we said in our predictions, we were on fire for the most part, and what we said, and I feel like I'm gonna take a victory lap on the opening match. I think I called that perfectly.
Yeah,
that match lived up to the hype that I put behind it. So yeah, no, you want to get right to it? Let's do it, bro. Let's get right to it.
Karen, I just want to say as well. Yeah, I want to double down on that. I think we had some of the best predictions possible. Like in that preview, I know I did for the US title match, the almost Rollins match. I mean, the main event, a bit of the Bad Bunny match, most of this show, the Bloodline match as well. We literally said exactly what would happen, quite literally for those matches. Which I want to say once again, Elite Heat victory lap there. That was fantastic. You absolutely called that Belair Io Sky match. I said it'd be good. You said it'd be a fantastic, great match, and you were right. Kevin, did you call Belair getting booed and Io Sky being cheered like she's 2011 CM Punk? Like
I didn't think that. I didn't think the people in Puerto Rico were I guess smart marks, if you will. I don't know if that's like the right thing to say. Is that still a thing where people cheer the underdog just to cheer him? I don't know. But it shows you. Maybe it shows us more that Io Sky is more popular than we gave her credit for.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd. I think it was brewing, the Bianca Belair being turned on. I mean, we've been saying it for a while that she's the female Cena. And what happened to Cena? He got turned on. And I didn't think it would be in front of this crowd, I thought we would see it maybe at like a Europe crowd, or like a Raw after WrestleMania where they would turn on Bianca. So I was a little bit surprised by that. But I think it'll help and it'll add a layer to her character. I mean, this match was fantastic, bro. This was so good. This was like I said, everything that I said, bro, in the prediction of like Io, she brought out a side athletically. She brought out a side of Bianca Belair that we don't really get to see very often. And I think Io is going to be a rising star. Now we're going to see the hype train behind her. People are going to want to see her featured in more main events. And I think her stock is at an all-time high right now. It's a great time to purchase some Io Sky stock. What did you think of this match?
No, I'm in the same boat. For me, the crowd was the thing that made me really invested because, as I said in the preview, the match will be good, no doubt about it. But it's like the build. I wasn't super invested. I just wasn't. But then you get to the match, and right away they do the entrances, and the crowd is just cheering Io like she's prime whoever, like pick whichever main eventer, and Bianca Belair. Not that she was getting I saw this going around on Twitter, Kevin. The 06 one night stand Cena thing, it wasn't that. That's no reaction.
Not at all.
It was like I watched it all right because once again, my consumption in this show, I watched this match after the fact. I'd seen a bunch of the stuff later on. Kevin, people were literally going with pictures of Cena facing the one night stand crowd and like Belair tonight having a Cena one night stand moment. I'm like, hold on, that was Roman in Montreal. Don't even compare that to this.
Bro, that was literally every single person in that arena, aside from one kid, was chanting, "Let's go Cena." And they were chanting, "Cena sucks dick," and all this crazy stuff. Like, come on, bro. No.
I know. Massive overreaction. I was watching it, especially early on. Belair was getting a neutral reaction. One night stand, it was, 99.9% negative towards the face. So,
were they chanting anything at Bianca? I don't remember. Were they saying, any phrases to her, or were they just booing her? I know they were chanting "Let's go Io" a lot.
Yeah, it was more so just they were cheering Io more than they were cheering Belair. They really liked Io. And it wasn't like, F Belair like it was with Cena. It was just, we prefer Io. That was literally what it was. So
yeah, I was going to say, if a Puerto Rican crowd was going to be disrespectful, it would be a lot worse than what they did in an ECW one night stand. So I don't remember hearing anything like that made my ears perk. So
yeah. No, Kevin,
this match was classic babyface versus heel match. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, really good, and I like how they did the ending. They're doing something with Damage Control. I think they have a whole breakup there, and Io becomes the babyface.
I hope so.
And the other two, she can feud with Bayley, feud with Dakota. They can have matches at the next few shows and do that on that seems like the logical way to go. And then for Belair, where to from here? She's now 400 days into a run, and it doesn't look like there's an end in sight realistically. The only end looks like Rhea Ripley, to be honest, and she's on the other show, so I don't know.
Turn her heel. I think it's time. Turn her heel.
Yeah.
Turn her heel, put her in there with a babyface Io Sky. See what happens. See if they got something there. I mean, she's a Triple H girl, she being Io, so it's not going to surprise me if Io does win the title from Bianca.
Yeah.
And she showed that she deserved it, and people like her, and people are behind her. She's a clear star of Damage Control. I think we can both say that. Bailey's like, she's kind of the now, she's been around for a long time though. Dakota Kai, I think she's missing a little something. I don't think she has that it factor. Io has that. Io doesn't have the English language. That's probably the most.
Do you think it's that? Do you think it's that? Because like for me, I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
Not that she like, and we're not saying she sucks, she's bad. That's not what this is. It's the it factor. Not every wrestler has the it factor. That's okay. And
I think Io Sky does have it. I think she does.
But not as like the full package. Just like mostly like.
Yeah, she's got that it. She's got that thing about her that separates her from everybody else.
Yeah,
but she doesn't have the promo skills, which she'll eventually need.
Yeah.
Or else we're gonna see what we saw in AEW when they were pushing Japanese women to the top. Basically, which was just flat and uninteresting segments. Yeah,
but thrilling storylines, all very memorable things that went down. But no, yeah, really good opening match. I gave it like three. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it.
Yeah,
I think it wasn't. Yeah, so it wasn't a 5-star match, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say 4 star. I was just gonna say I agree.
Yeah, no, W Power, good stuff, and yeah, I guess can we move on to a backstage segment now? I want your thoughts on this.
Oh, hold on, before we go there, I'm sorry. Before we go there, 1 sec. I just want to say this off top. How great was the crowd for this show? You want to save that? You want to talk about that later?
Oh, we'll just do it now because just fantastic.
No, you know what? We'll save it. Let's save it. Let's save it for the Bad Bunny match. Let's save it.
Yeah, we'll save that.
Go ahead.
Speaking of Bad Bunny, we go backstage and we see the man himself, the A+ list celebrity, who parts of the wrestling community had no clue of and were complaining about 2 years ago. Bad Bunny's backstage. Rey Mysterio comes over. They do this whole thing with the kendo stick. Savio Vega comes over. Kevin, I want your opinion here. You more so understand what they were saying. To me, I didn't have a clue what was being said, but it was a cool segment to watch nonetheless. What were your thoughts?
So I thought it was a pretty good segment. Essentially for the gist of the people that don't understand what was being said. Rey Mysterio came in and it was just like, "Yo, what's up, homie?" Like talking to Bad Bunny, like, "What's good?" And then Savio came in and was like, pretty much was like, "This kendo stick is for you. I'm passing the torch to you." Is basically what he was saying. You represent Puerto Rico well. You do Puerto Rico right. You're the biggest thing we got going on. Here's this kendo stick with the flag on it, with the Puerto Rican pride. And then Bad Bunny, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said, he was just saying, I imagine he was just saying like, "Wow, this is a great honor. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to kill Damien Priest. I'm living my dream." Like, I imagine that's what he said, but yeah, it was pretty solid backstage segment. Just Savio Vega is a god in Puerto Rico, as you can see. He's one of the most important people in the wrestling culture out there. Wrestling in Puerto Rico, it has a bad stain on it because of what happened to Bruiser Brody and the way that was all handled. Jose Gonzalez never got arrested or anything for that, just walked away free. So that really hurts the culture, like from overall, like from the outside looking in. But in the island itself, wrestling is very big, as you can see. And Bad Bunny represents that. So it was cool. It was like wrestling meets culture.
Yeah, no, that was good. Like, yeah, once again, for someone who had no clue what was being said there, it came off well. Like, it came off like that. That's what I had a feeling it probably was, like a passing the torch sort of homage to some legends of Puerto Rican and Latino wrestling. So yeah, no, I thought it was quite good. So anything else on that, or do you want to move on?
No, there's not really much else to say. Yeah.
Yeah. No, perfect. Now we have Kevin, your favorite.
Oh no.
7 foot, and also apparently Omos is now 7'4". He was 7'3" for like 2 years. Now he's 7'4". They were saying on commentary.
He grew an inch, pal. All that HGH.
He's nutty, just like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, pal. No, Omos versus Seth freaking Rollins, pal.
It's the protein pancakes, bro.
Protein pancakes, yeah. Trend pancakes. Okay, so anyway. No 54-year-old looks like that. I'm sorry, not natural.
Is he 54 already?
He's like anyway. Almost Rollins, Kevin.
Yes.
Now we discussed this in the preview. Did it really need a build? Not really. A bit thrown together, but what they did on the night, I want to say, really good. As far as a David Goliath match and sort of like the logic that goes into them, I thought this is one of the best ones we've seen from the perspective of what Rollins was doing to Omos. Because a bunch of the time with these matches, they'll just book it to where it doesn't make sense, or you'll just have the big guy beat up the small guy, and the small guy hit like one move and just win. And you're like, what was that? But with this match, 3 things I want to point out, then I'll throw to you, Kevin. When Rollins went for the stomp just like normally, and he couldn't like get almost as like thick neck like to move.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Like that sort of stuff's great.
Absolutely.
I thought Rollins with like the bear hug, or like when he jumped on his back and tried to like do a sleeper hold. When he jumped off the top rope to try and like just get up to Omos, like that was cool. And then like the finisher with the diving stomp. Great finisher. That was like the perfect, because Rollins does the stomp. Omos is too big. He's such a thick neck. Do a big super stomp off the top rope. It just works. So I like this. I don't think it was some all-timer match. It was probably Omos's like best stuff. It's probably the best you can work with Omos in a match, to be honest, realistically. So yeah, I liked it, Kevin. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. It was a fun, like, big guy, little guy match. Omos has really made some strides in the ring. You know, he looks more comfortable than he did maybe even a couple years ago when he was teaming with AJ. It was just kind of like, all right, this guy is, we're gonna have AJ Styles kind of help him out. You know, AJ's gonna cover his weaknesses, and now I think Omos is figuring it out. He's consistently in 2 straight pay-per-views had a good match with Brock Lesnar and a good match with Seth Rollins. So that tells me that there's big plans for this guy. I don't know what those big plans are, but he's going to be involved in a big storyline or something down the road. You know, maybe a WrestleMania main event, maybe not, but maybe like a smaller pay-per-view main event at some point.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be around for a long time, is what it seems like, and he's performing well. As far as what they did on the night, it was was it like an 11-minute match?
Yeah, 10, 11, about that. Nothing too long, not too short either.
Yeah, maybe it went a little long. I don't know, but I really dug Seth Rollins' entrance, man. Like, that was cool. Seth Rollins, like, every time I see him do that entrance and I see the connection with the crowd, it's like I look at that and I'm like, he finally found his thing. He searched for years to find something. You know, he started as the architect, and then he was like Seth freaking Rollins and the Man's Man, and you know, he was
the King Slayer, the Beast Slayer,
the King Slayer, the cult leader. You know, and now he's finally found whatever it is that he is. I don't really know what he is now. He's just a crazy guy that laughs. He's like the Joker, basically. He laughs, and he has a cool theme, and he has that connection with people. And he's a big star. I think his stock, too, is at an all-time high right now. I think he's the absolute best guy in the company right now. Does that mean that he needs a title reign? I don't know. But I think he's the top performer, day to day, week to week. I think he's the best out.
That's a good one. Comment on that in the chat and in the replies. Let us know what you think. I still think Cody has that at the moment. I just do, with the momentum he has. But Rollins is not far off at all. And I will say with that, just on Omos before we move on, I view him as he's WWE's special attraction.
Yes,
that's Omos. Like, he doesn't need to be a world champ. I don't think it. No disrespect, maybe he'll prove me wrong on this. I don't see the guy as someone holding the world heavyweight title for months and months. He doesn't need that. That's not him. He's a guy who, at these events, can have matches against like anyone just about. And it's like the Omos match is fun. Like, he's almost as a likable giant. I found for a guy like the great Carl Lee, I never felt any sort of connection. Maybe the nation of India did. I didn't. Braun Strowman, I never really felt this sort of way towards. Braun Strowman was just a big guy who shouted and then ran around ringside. Like, I don't know, I'll get your thoughts in a moment, but to me, Omos he's a likable big guy who's the special attraction for wrestling for WWE. So I think his spot on the show, he's always going to have a spot for the next 5-10 years. A 7'4", humongous black giant. It just fits. It just works. So yeah,
I agree. He's like we said in the prediction, we were talking about how he was referred to as like the modern day Andre, the modern day Big Show, and I think WWE has finally found that guy they were looking for, and You know, they're not treating him as such like they did with the Big Show. They were like, oh, like WCW did with the Big Show. And they're just like, yeah, this is a new Andre the Giant, or whatever they said. That was Andre's son, or whatever. You know, like they're just letting it happen naturally. And I do think he has a different connection with everybody in comparison to Braun Strowman and Great Khali, some of the guys that you mentioned. Great Khali, I remember being terrified of him as a kid, but it was like once I got older, it was like, okay, whatever, you know. But Great Khali's a legend in his own right, though, man. The Punjabi Playboy and the theme song and all the stuff he did, you know. But Omos is way better in ring than Khali was, and he's probably better in ring than Andre the Giant was. You know, that's not to say that he's a bigger star or a bigger attraction or anything bigger legend than Andre, but just bell to bell, Omos is a better wrestler than Andre, and that's natural. That's what Andre would be if he came along in this generation. Andre would just be that gifted of a worker in ring. It's just the natural evolution of wrestling.
No, totally. So any more on Rollins or Omos? Do you want to move on, pal?
Let's do it.
No, let's move it on. So now the US title three-way triple threat.
Your favorite match of the night.
Kevin, yeah, also objectively the most story-filled, action-packed, crowd, excitement.
Oh yeah, they were more excited for this one than Bad Buddy's match. You're right. I mean, Kevin, come on, it's Austin Theory. It's the number 2 pick in the second night of the draft. It's the face of Raw. It's the United States champion. Let's go. Austin Theory, A-Town down, baby. A-Town down.
He was picked above Seth Rollins on night, which is ridiculous.
Sickening. Absolutely disgusting.
No, look, this was not it. It was went for like 6 minutes. It was the clear throwaway match of the night.
Yes.
Every other match on this show I felt had some sort of purpose or something to it. This match didn't. This was literally there. Theory, Lashley, Bronson Reed, the Aussie tsunami pal. I know because he's Australian, everyone thinks I should have some affinity for him, that I should love Bronson Reed. I don't. I find him cringe. And then Lashley's my favorite wrestler in this match. I watched bits of this match before Lashley. I saw the ending, Kevin. It's exactly what we said it to be. Literally, Lashley takes down Reed, and then they Theory picks the bones. And it's like, okay,
that beautiful.
What do you expect?
What a beautiful ending, pal.
It's rubbish. It's nonsense. Theory's still the champion. He's now on SmackDown. Does Grayson Waller, LA Knight beat him or feud with him? I think that's the next direction to go. It seems like either Raw is going to be entertaining. They're both going to roast Theory and call him like a bum. It's going to be great. But yeah, Kevin, any thoughts? Talk to us.
You could visibly see it when you're watching this match. Go back and watch it. You could just see the frustration from Bobby Lashley. You can see it. You can see him going through the motions. Like it's prevalent, clear as day. Like when the match was over, he hits the spear. God, that finish. I got like 3 minutes on this finish. Bobby Lashley spears Bronson Reed. It was a gigantic tsunami of a man. And that's it. He gets speared, and then Austin Theory lightly throws Bobby Lashley out of the ring. Lashley lands on his feet, and it's like, whoa, I'm staggered. Whoa, and then Austin Theory pins Bronson Reed. And then Lashley runs in there, and he's like banging on the mat. He's like, oh, damn, I was this close. And it's like, oh, man, what was this, bro?
Cringe.
Like, what was this? Like, I mean, I get his throwaway match, but come on. This is what you got for Bobby Lashley? This is it? This is all you got? I know Bronson Reed is whatever. He adds, like, a different element to the match, but that ending really bothered me. It was like that was a Vince ending. If you just, like, I hate to say that, but that was like the endings that we would see on Raw for the past 10 years. Yeah. The classic distraction. Oh, the bad guy's going to get the win off a little distraction. Like, you're telling me Bronson Reed could not kick out of that spear? And you're telling me Bobby Lashley was that staggered from being thrown through the middle rope by Austin Theory that he couldn't come in and break up the pin? Like, come on.
Pal, I will say, I get it. They've been doing this, like, we addressed this in the preview as well. They've been doing this whole thing because there's the draft and because they're changing things up. Maybe once again, as of next week's SmackDown, Lashley's feuding with Roman Reigns. We don't know. But it's felt like there was the Brock feud with Bobby Lashley. And then ever since, Lashley's taken like 4-5 steps back. His WrestleMania spot, he didn't have one. And then at this, he was just he was just the filler guy. He was just filling a spot here in the US title match to lose to Theory. And it's like, what's going on? So I get it. You're not going to have him main event every single show, but this was just, that ending, I don't know. Well, I think we can move on. Theory picks the bone. Literally, Kevin, my notes, I don't know if you can see this here on the camera. Theory picks the bones is all I wrote for this match.
Theory picks the
That's
bones.
literally my review, my analysis, and then we move on. So,
yeah. All right, so now let's talk about this match. Was there a backstage segment or anything that we missed? No, right?
Well, at some stage here, there was like a Big E DraftKings. That was about it at this point. So we moved on. Kevin, talk to us.
Yeah, Selena Vega versus Rhea Ripley. This match was pretty emotional, honestly. This was an very emotional match. And we knew this going in, that Selena was here because she's of Puerto Rican descent. She's getting her moment in the sun. She's been through a lot with the company, leaving, being fired, whatever, coming back. And it was great to see her get this moment. We knew that she wasn't going to beat Rhea, but just the entrance comes out. She's got the Puerto Rican flag here, and then she's getting showered with cheers, and she's crying in the ring. Like, she's literally crying as she's getting just completely showered with cheers. And then she and Rhea have a match. Was the match great, bell to bell? Sure, it was good. You know, it was a good match. It was fine. It was pretty good content, pretty good quality content. It was an average, like B minus match. Did it do anything for Zelina Vega? Probably not. You know, in terms of her future, like, she's gonna be in the mid card for a while still. But this was great. It was a great use of the culture. It was very. It was like the awareness kind of thing that we're seeing now with Triple H, just putting people in moments where they're gonna shine and they're gonna look their best. So it's not a permanent thing. I don't think she's gonna be wrestling for the title very often, but it was good to see. Highly emotional. Rhea got the win to nobody's surprise. Rhea just looked like the dominant champion that was clearly the favorite, clearly the better opponent, and yeah, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think the awareness is something I like that you brought up, because this is stuff we didn't used to see.
Mhm.
Like, there'd be that many times we'd be in wrestlers' hometowns, and they either wouldn't acknowledge it, or it just go by the wayside. Maybe the crowd would cheer a little loud. They wouldn't even mention it. But now with this, because of these premium live events being, across, not exactly in the US as much as you will say Puerto Rico falls under the US umbrella. Like, it's a different sort of environment to hold a show. And for a wrestler like Zelina Vega, it's a perfect spot here. Like, as I said in the preview, and we said in the preview, she wasn't going to win the title, obviously, but this spot and what it turned out to be was better than I thought. Like, I thought, yes, they had the crowd cheering her a bit louder and they'd acknowledge it, but she comes out with the flag. She's this big emotional moment. During the ring introduction, she's literally crying. Like, we joke about Cody and the crying. She was literally, like, sobbing. They zoomed in, tears welling up. She's like, she's like full, crying.
That's
and then
great.
they do the match exactly how you should have booked the match, which is what they did. 7 minutes. Ripley dominates 5 minutes of it. Zelina Vega has her, like, minute and a half comeback. Ripley flouts it and wins. And then after the match, I like this. Like, they could have just, Kevin, cut to a Big E DraftKings commercial, but no, they kept the camera on Zelina Vega for, like, more camera time in the ring. So, now, to me, this did a lot for Zelina. Yes, she won't be the main event female star, headlining events in Cincinnati, headlining events in Corpus Christi, main eventing in Japan, main eventing down under powered live events. She's not in that position because of this match. But it does make me, and I'm sure many others, view her, I guess, more positively, more favorably on TV week to week. It's the same thing with a lot of recent wrestlers that Triple H has booked like this. Now I'm going to remember this moment. I'm going to remember that Puerto Rico moment, how emotional that was, how cool it was. And I'll always think more positively of Zelina Vega for that. So, yeah, that's my thoughts, pal. Solid 7-minute match. Ripley retains. Over to you.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about it now. Right, we're here. This match didn't main event like many people thought it would. It didn't even co-main event. They put it on second to last. So
yep, third to last. Yep,
third to last. Sorry, yeah. Bad Bunny versus Damien Priest. This was crazy, man. I want to get your thoughts. Talk to us. Then I'll go after you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll go first. I'll give my opinion. Boy, a lot to take in here.
Yes.
First and foremost, I want to say Bad Bunny's entrance. You would have thought there were 60,000 people in that arena. Like,
how many people? What was the attendance?
18,000.
Wow.
Okay. Roughly. Kevin, you would have thought, and also the drone shots in the crowd from this match and throughout the night, excellent. It made it really good. But Kevin, this entrance from Bad Bunny, I want to discuss for a moment. having someone like this, like a Bad Bunny, a mainstream A-list artist, like literally in his apex, performing like this, doing a WWE entrance. I don't think there is a comparison in history. Like I saw some people mention that it's like Michael Jackson in his prime doing a WWE match. And it's not a bad comparison, all things considered. But you look at Bad Bunny coming out, 18,000 people sounded like 60,000 people, which is what I thought was just tremendous. It was fantastic. It was great. Priest comes out, and this did so much for Priest. This is so much for everyone involved, but mainly Priest. I want to give a shout out to Priest because as much as Bad Bunny's getting a heap of the praise, and rightfully so, Damien Priest, Kevin, myself and you and a lot of us praised him a lot like 2-3 years ago for his, what he could be, how good of a star he is. He was in like the North American title picture, NXT. He has potential. And he was just perfect in this. He did everything you needed to in this match. He protected Bad Bunny. He played a great heel role. He was a great foil for all the babyface acts that we'll talk about later on in this match. I thought that was great. The match itself, the first half was just simple babyface heel. Bad Bunny was obviously the underdog in the match, as he should be, because he's about a foot shorter and about 80, 100 pounds lighter. So that was going to make sense.
And he's a musician too.
Yeah, he's a musician, obviously. And then, the match it breaks open, and I'll throw to you in a minute to really talk about what this match has meant to you and how you thought of it. But the match totally breaks open. I really enjoyed, especially when you've got Carlito. I thought that was incredible.
Fantastic.
The timing as well. Like sometimes they don't always time these things well in wrestling, but this was perfectly timed. And the crowd just was like, whoa! The crowd erupted. Once again, 18,000 sound like 60,000. Which when you can make a building sound like that, you're doing something right. So there was that. There's stuff with Savio Vega. You've got the LWO. The Judgment Day come out. Finn 14 Staples is in the ring, punching Bad Bunny. That is a hideous show. If Britt Baker didn't release the domestic violence show, that's the worst show of 2023. Finn 14 Staples. There's that. But nonetheless, so they do that, Kevin.
Oh, man.
Finn 14 Staples out there with Dom. Dom's getting his moment. He's getting booed. LWO is there. Salvio comes out. They chase off the Judgment Day. Eventually, they do some more action. Like that happens, and you think, okay, the match is just going to kind of wrap up now. Then they're out at ringside, and then they're back, and then Bad Bunny hits his move. Priest kicks out. It goes and goes. Eventually, Kevin and crescendos. Bad Bunny wins. I'm just going to throw straight to you, Kevin. What did you think? How did you feel watching this? Walk us through this match in your eyes, because naturally, because of the culture, it means more to you to talk to us.
Absolutely. I love that he used Chambea as his theme song. That was great. That was one of the songs that originally made him blow up in the industry. So that was back when he was doing trap music, and that's what the OG Puerto Ricans, people that have been listening to him since day one, know him for. Now he's famous and he's making music for women and all that. Great, making money. But that was what he was doing originally, so I thought that was cool. And then it's just like that entrance, bro. The best entrance I think we're gonna see all year in wrestling. I think that's safe to say. You can't get any bigger than Bad Bunny in his home island in a main event at WWE, at a WWE show, coming out to like one of those songs, the whole crowd singing the song and know every lyric, everybody's going nuts. It doesn't get any bigger than that. He's got the fireworks. I think it's safe to say, right? That was the best entrance we're gonna see.
I think that's like that and Rey Mysterio's WrestleMania entrance are tied. Because right. It's just Snoop Dogg in the lowrider. WrestleMania goes Hollywood. He's facing Dom, but this was special for just how into it the crowd was. But yeah, go on.
Absolutely. Go on. And the biggest takeaway from this is that Bad Bunny is a wrestler. He's not like I'm a celebrity. It's like he's a musician. He's a celebrity. He's conquered that world. But he's also like coming in and main eventing a show. Like that's just insane. It's insane. It really is. Like the dude, and he's a good wrestler. He's not like Ric Flair or like Bryan Danielson, but he's good. He's better than like half the people in the PC right now, I'm sure. He got to where he was because of his name, but he's put in the work and we see it. This match was so fun. It was fantastic. It was a great match. It was really, really good. Damian Priest coming out there. Damian Priest played the heel role perfectly. I know the crowd was like, you can see they didn't want to boo him, but it was just like, they got to boo him. He's Puerto Rican too, so it's like, they don't want to boo him either. but
Yeah.
they're just playing along, playing a role, I love the spots with the LWO, with Judgment Day. That was great. The way they did it, they had Judgment Day come out alone, then they had Rey Mysterio come out alone and try to save Bad Bunny, and then the rest of the LWO comes out. They bring out Savio Vega. He's playing the hits. It was so cool. That was like it was just like a nice homage to what the Puerto Rican culture is, the Puerto Rican wrestling. Seeing all that, and this match needed it. I would say interference worked well in this, and what they did, that the fun, the big pop, and Carlito coming out. I mean, come on, bro. They're playing all the hits. You got Savio Vega, Carlito, Rey Mysterio, all these Latinos are out there. It's just knowing the audience, giving people what they want, and it really translated well to TV. It really did. This reminded me of the match that Triple H and Sting had at WrestleMania 31, where it's like, okay, we got to cover up Sting's old, so we're gonna bring all the old guys out and cover it up,
Yeah.
But this was like a better version of that. This is like the best version of that kind of match.
Yeah.
And then that spot where Damien Priest threw Bad Bunny through the table, forget it, bro. Forget it. That was wow. You kidding me? Like, bro, that guy Damien Priest is gonna make a ton of money when his contract's up. All you gotta do is walk into Nick Khan's office and it's like, you see this? I threw Bad Bunny through a table. That's the biggest celebrity in the world, and I didn't injure him or anything. So that's it. Pay me whatever I want. Like, come on, you kidding me? That dude's value is at an all-time high. That guy, he's gonna have a job with WWE till he dies for that. Because at the end of the day, it's his responsibility. Bad Bunny is his responsibility. If he fucks up and injures Bad Bunny, forget it, bro. And he's just like, it's just crazy to me. This dude like headlined Coachella like 2 weeks ago, a big time music festival, and is at the Met Gala or whatever the gala show, and then he's doing Backlash. Like,
yeah,
crazy, unbelievable.
Well, Kevin, I want to say, like, I was watching this match. I was trying to think of any sort of comparison, like all time, that a match like this would be. We've got like the biggest or one of the biggest A-list artists in the world facing like a wrestler and like with a hot crowd. I was trying to like think, and it's like would it be, I don't know, like Michael Jackson facing Macho Man Randy Savage in like the early 90s? Like, I was trying to think like what kind of comparison, because it's such like a rare dynamic, which Bad Bunny is just perfect at. Because I was watching the match going, he doesn't have to do this. Like, Bad Bunny could just sail off into the sunset, performing at Coachella, performing at these festivals, performing at events, and then just making music and whatever. He's choosing to do this, and he's doing it really well, which is the thing that's so good about him. It's why so many fans resonate with him. It's not just Vince McMahon and Nick Khan throwing like 8 figures at some celebrity who doesn't want to be there for some average matches. It's not Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman. It's not Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar. It's not one of those matches. It's actually a guy who wants to do this. He takes pride in this, Bad Bunny. So to me, at least, that's what makes it, I guess, work so well in my eyes. And yeah, the match was just great fun. It was just a fun match, really entertaining. There were no low points. Like, the match, it started off amazing entrance. There's a little kind of lull in the filling out period early, which naturally it's a 25-minute match. It's not going to be hell for leather the whole time, and then it just spikes up for the second half, and it's just incredible. So yeah, great stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that he's famous for being a musician, but also the wrestling community that doesn't really know who. A lot of the wrestling community doesn't know who he is. They're just like, yeah, that's Bad Bunny. He's a wrestler. He's he's like part of the community, which is awesome. Yeah, I think it's it's funny that they let him use that song Chambea on Peacock. That song is so what's the word? It's got a lot of profanity. They wouldn't play an English language song like that. So yeah.
I mean, Kevin, it works because people like me have no clue what the hell that's about. I hear like Bad Bunny's coming out and the crowd's all screaming. I'm like, yeah, this works. Yeah. Who cares?
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Because Kevin, with like the language difference, Bad Bunny could be saying the most vile swear words, most insane racial, homophobic slurs. Because the crowd's hot and the crowd's singing, I couldn't care less. So,
yeah, it's awesome, ain't it?
Oh, it's great. It's great. Okay, anything else on that, or do you want to move it along, pal?
No, I think that's all we got. That you were asking me too, like what the crowd was saying or anything, something you wanted to ask me? The crowd was chanting or anything?
Yeah, was there anything you were watching this? Were there any like chants the crowd were doing or anything? Because once again, the language, anything different or anything like out of the box the crowd were doing chanting?
Well, they were chanting. They were telling Damian Priest and Dominic that they are dick faces.
This is the insight I wanted from Kevin. This is perfect.
So
anyway,
what they're saying is Lambe Bicho, which in every other Latino country, literally, you go anywhere in Latino countries, you tell someone about a bicho, it's a bug. You know, it's just a little bug. It's like you say bug here in the United States and Australia. It's like, oh, there's a bug. You know, in Puerto Rico, you go up to somebody and you say that you look like a bicho. You know, they're gonna like it's it. It's fighting words. You know,
right.
Over. That's like bicho means dick in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't really know. But all I know is that's what it means. So yeah, they're basically telling Dom and Damien that they eat dicks. So yeah, and then Chambea, what that song means. So essentially, what Chambea means, Chambea Allah means pull the gun. You know, pull the trigger, load the gun, pull the trigger, and then he's like, "Motherfucker, I'll kill you."
We're for families, pal. World Wrestling Federation Entertainment. We make movies.
Yep. And I mean, in the song Booker T, too, is another one where he's just like, he's saying bastard like over and over again. He's just like, yeah, you bastard. Whatever, you know, so. Very wholesome, family-friendly content. Yeah.
That is phenomenal. I'm so happy we got your clarification on that. That's great. Just Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest, dick faces. I love it. So there we go.
They're dick faces, yeah. I don't remember what else they were chanting, but I'm sure they were chanting like for Bad Bunny and all that. There was like San Benito, right? They were saying that. Yeah.
Gotcha. And pal, with that being said, do we transition to the bloodline now?
Yes. Now is that time.
Yes. So 6-man tag. This felt like this was a cool down match. That's just what it was. After the Bad Bunny match, you needed something which was a bit sort of there. So I'm not going to pot WWE too much for this match being sort of just kind of there. I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad at all. You got the Bloodline, Riddle, Zayn, Owens. This went for like 20 minutes. This went quite a while.
It did.
I was watching it, and then I was still watching. I'm like, this has been going on for quite a while. I'm looking at my watch. I'm checking the time. No, it was fun. They did what they needed to with like Bloodline friction. As we discussed in the preview, that was always going to happen. I figured, and we both figured, that you've got the Usos and the Bloodline losing at WrestleMania on night one. They lose at the draft to Zayn and Owens. They weren't going to lose this match as well. As much as they're doing this like downfall thing, they're not going to lose just every match. So them winning makes sense. Sokola was like the MVP for the team. He got the win. He hit that spike on Riddle and got the W there. So there was that. One thing I will say, my only kind of gripe, and this is a very small one. I get Reigns isn't going to be on the show. I can accept that. But if you're going to do something where he's not on, and that what they're trying to do, Kevin, is Bloodline friction, Reigns won't be happy. What's Reigns going to do? At least have Paul Heyman backstage after this, being like, the Tribal Chief's been on the phone. He's pissed off watching that. He's got words for you this Friday on SmackDown. He'll be there to scold you, Jay, or something like that. Just forebode something. Do something. Mention Reigns. Have Heyman on the phone at least. Or my idea, you could have had Reigns watching via Skype, or Reigns like watching the match live. That would have made it hilarious. Like Reigns is sat there on his couch in Pensacola with the belts, like live reacting, and he's getting pissed off watching it or something. I don't know. That could have added an extra dimension to it, but I mean the match was fine. It wasn't a bad match, but that's just how I would have made it a bit better, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're pretty much hit the nail on the head. I don't have too much to add to this. I wasn't really into this, honestly. Yeah. I like I said going in, I wasn't into it, and it played out kind of the same way that we thought it would. What do you think? You think they're building Solo now? Solo's gonna be like the Batista, I guess, of the Bloodline?
I guess. Well, I'll quick question back to you just on that with your opinions there. Where are you at with this Bloodline storyline? Because it was the big the main thing you cared about in like January and February, and it was building for months and months with the Sami Zayn stuff. They do the WrestleMania payoff for the Zayn Owens, and from WrestleMania on,
in my eyes at least, it's felt like it's just sort of happening for the sake of happening to try and fill time, which is fair enough. Not everything has to be blowing off, having 5-star classics on SmackDowns, but it's felt like, and this match was a prime example, it's just sort of happening. Like you mentioned it there, it was like a 20-minute match, felt like a live event, like SmackDown match. That's just what it felt like.
Yeah, I agree.
Where are you at? Where are you at with the bloodline, Kevin? Are you just, get Jey Uso to turn right now, do something with Sikoa, like make a decision? Like, well, where are you at with them?
But this was kind of the end of the Sami Zayn and Owens storyline. The Sami storyline, not even Owens. The Sami Zayn and Bloodline storyline. That was the big payoff. They won the tag team titles. Was that the plan a year ago? I don't know. When they started, maybe. I don't know. That was the plan, but there's not really much more they can get out of this at this point. I think the next step is to see where they're going to go with Jey Uso. There's clear tension with Jey Uso over his friendship with Sami Zayn, and that's the next step. I'm not interested too much anymore in the Sami Zayn stuff at this point. Like you won the titles. That's the big payoff. That's it. What are we gonna keep doing? How are you gonna build upon that?
But pal, Riddle, pal.
Yeah, Riddle took a break from doing coke for once and showed up at the pay-per-view. Wow, incredible, man. Let's cheer, bro. We gotta say bravo to Triple H, pal. First, yeah. We forgot to do this, bro. Bravo, Triple H. Bravo, pal. It's that time. Bravo, it's main event time.
Paul Levesque, thank you, pal.
Bro, he brought back blood. He made a primal athlete and the absolute alpha male of our species, a Viking. He made him. Triple H forced him to bleed for our entertainment. All right, Triple H went into Brock's locker room and he's like, Brock, you're gonna bleed. I know it's a bad Triple H impression, but you're gonna bleed for those fans in Puerto Rico. So that's where we're at with Brock Lesnar. He did what Triple H, Paul Levesque forced him to do. So shout out to Paul Levesque and Nick Khan bringing back blood, putting on a great show in a beautiful island. This was a great show. The main event that time, Cody Rhodes, your favorite wrestler. You've turned your back on Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes is now your favorite wrestler. You're rocking his merchandise to the gym. You're a big Cody Rhodes guy. He's your favorite, absolute all-time favorite wrestler. He's replaced Philip Jack Brooks.
Well, he has. Yeah, carry on.
He's here now. He's your flavor of the month until Seth Rollins cuts a good promo, and then you'll be a Seth Rollins guy. And so give us your savage, ruthless, vicious, vile, absolutely just brutally honest thoughts on this match: Brock Lesnar versus your favorite wrestler, Cody Rhodes.
There was like 8 parts to that question. There's a lot to digest there. I think I'm going to lose sight of a bit of it because you've said so much. First and foremost, my flavor of the month, like Seth Rollins, for instance, will not be my flavor. I've literally been abused on Twitter because I said Rollins' title run in 2015 was a dud, and Rollins isn't that good. So people hate me, and I don't like Rollins that much anyway. When you look at a guy like Cody Rhodes, Kevin, this main event, perfect. Really good. It was what it needed to be. Was it a 5-star classic? No. It was like 10, 12 minutes. But how it was booked was good. Now look, Brock Lesnar being busted open, my ruthless, savage, brutally honest, cold-hearted, remorseless, honest, Anglo-Saxon, Viking, warhorse, Paul Levesque thoughts. It worked. It did. He got busted open the hard way. This wasn't a John Moxley blade job that gets caught on camera like AW botches puts to the world. This was they had the turnbuckle spot. Cody's he's trying to get up. He gets the turnbuckle. Brock pulls in. The turnbuckle gets ripped off. I love Cody throwing the turnbuckle in the crowd on the suplex. And Cody's just like, whoa! And then the turnbuckle goes flying to the 7th row. That was great. And a good match. Cody jumped Brock beforehand, which was cool. Really loud whoa for the entrance. And Kevin, one note I had on this question, just jog my memory here. Cody's theme song's the same as when it was in AEW, correct? His theme song has not changed.
Correct.
That whoa thing, that didn't happen in AEW, did it not?
No. I mean, maybe some people said it, but it wasn't like a thing. It wasn't like a part of his entrance like it's become.
Which is pretty nuts. Now it's it's synonymous with him. And one thing I love, just quickly, when the show ended and Cody walked off, and they were just showing Brock in the ring laughing with blood everywhere. and they had the whoa because Cody's theme song's playing. It's like whoa, like the crowd's screaming it when Cody's not even there. So that's pretty cool, and that's great. But no, I enjoyed this match. Can I want to get your thoughts? I want to get your. I'll ask this very simply. Your ruthless thoughts, pal. Talk to us.
Yeah, I thought this was good. It was solid. Solid like 4-star match. Maybe 4.25, maybe. It was what I think we both expected it to be. Babyface Cody getting thrown around by Brock Lesnar. Everybody thought that Cody was just gonna hit the 3 crossroads and he was gonna bury Brock Lesnar, stand on his chest, pose, flexing on his chest. No, he barely beat Brock Lesnar, and that's normal. Brock Lesnar is bigger than him, is in height and stature. Cody is like 60 pounds lighter than Brock, so
it
makes logical sense from a storytelling perspective that Cody barely beat him. Cody didn't really need a big decisive win over Brock Lesnar. Like if you're gonna have Brock Lesnar lose big and decisively, you could get more out of it. They could do like a 3-month storyline and use that to put somebody over the top. But just for like a one-off pay-per-view, potentially is what this is. Maybe they'll run it back in Saudi Arabia or Money in the Bank or something.
Yeah.
But maybe they won't. So this was good. Brock Lesnar getting busted open was great. It was like sorely missed in wrestling. Blood is sorely, sorely missed. Not all the time. We don't need to see blood every Monday night, but like we see in AEW on Wednesday nights. We don't need Cody Rhodes or Brock Lesnar bleeding in the middle of a match with like Akira Tozawa
or whoever, Tozawa, or a random undercard guy like that. We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that. Not to say, that works for AEW's crowd. That's what they like. More power to them,
Yep.
But yeah, I think a little bit of blood in wrestling makes storylines seem more personal. Makes the tension build. It adds to the drama. A lot of matches that I remember fondly from my childhood in the Ruthless Aggression era had blood in them. Look at like Eddie Guerrero and JBL. Look at some of the classics Triple H had with like Stone Cold, with Chris Jericho, Triple H versus Mick Foley. They all had a lot of those big matches had blood, and it worked. Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker back in the day in Hell in a Cell. The Undertaker busted open, Brock Lesnar busted open. It's cool when used right. I like it. I definitely was a fan of this match. I thought it was very, from a storyline perspective or a storytelling perspective, it's about as good as you can get. It's about as Wrestling 101 you can get from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah, and I also want to address it with the blood as well. I had one person comment on the video I made on this on my channel about how, because of literally Moxley, like Dean Ambrose has John Moxley in AEW, blood doesn't feel special anymore, which I was like, interesting take. I view that, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. When I see WWE in a main event match use blood for the first time in forever, I view that as a big deal. I view that as special. I view the Moxley AEW stuff where they're like blading literally every other week just for the sake of it and bleeding. That's just separate. That's just whatever. Forget that. That's different. This is like a marquee main event in Puerto Rico at a live event for WWE. So this was really good. I think the combination of Brock bleeding and the well thought out logical finish made this by default quite good. And who was involved? Cody being the star of 2023. And Brock being a top 10 guy all time, so it worked. It worked. Good main event, enjoyable main event, satisfying ending to the show. I didn't end this show feeling like what WTF like I did with WrestleMania 39 Night 2, which was always good. So yeah, good way to end the show, I thought.
Absolutely. It would have been nice to see Bad Bunny end the show with the LWO going off, but at the end of the day, Cody Rhodes is your biggest star. Brock Lesnar is your biggest box office attraction. That's full time in the company, so it makes sense. I ain't upset at it. People love Cody, they love Brock. The people loved everything. The crowd was fantastic, bro. This was one of the best live crowds that we've seen. This is the best crowd since Montreal, for sure. Mm-hmm. But just overall, this is one of the best crowds that we've had. Wow, aside from that Montreal crowd. And it's gonna be like that in Money in the Bank in London. It's gonna be another hot crowd. That'd be Clash at the Castle was probably the last great crowd that from Elimination Chamber and then this show. That's saying a lot, saying a lot. It's saying that WWE, they need to go to other places that don't get to see wrestling that often. And when you go to those places, it makes your product look better. When you got thousands and thousands of people just cheering everything that's happening, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
They're going crazy for Lashley and Austin Theory. Like, they weren't even like sitting on their hands, like an American crowd that's spoiled and entitled.
I know.
So
Yeah.
it makes your product look better.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's like that crowd element. It's one of the three things. So I mentioned this. This is my formula I talked about in my video, Kevin. It's basically it's a 3-part thing. A hot crowd, so an audience is really into what's happening. So a hot crowd, that's the first one.
Right.
Logical writing.
Yes.
Right winners, matches that make sense. Endings that work for the most part, and then great talent, which this show had all three of them. It had, the hot crowd in Puerto Rico, the logical booking with basically all the matches outside the ending of the US title, and then the great talent across the board, Brock, and we can name the talent on the show. We know that. So to me, that's WWE's formula for success. That's really the wrestling formula for success, that you've got all three of them. Your show is going to be automatically at least pretty good. Like, no one's saying this Backlash show was the greatest show in 15 years. I don't think so, at least, but it was a good quality show. And Kevin, for a Backlash, I must say this as well, this like international thing and looking at different markets, it works so well. For these main pay, it's not the Royal Rumble, it's not SummerSlam, it's not WrestleMania. Usually, Kevin, every other year, this Backlash show would be held in like Corpus Christi or Cincinnati or wherever. Yeah, maybe Chicago. I mean, they're not as kind of dull as some of these other cities where literally it's like 5,000 people who still in their hands, or like 12,000 people who just kind of sit there. Like some of these crowds, Kevin, in previous years, and granted in like 2019, 2020, they weren't fans, but 2018, 2017, the crowds didn't have much to really sink their teeth into. The product wasn't very good. There wasn't much on the table for the fans, but the fans weren't exactly helping a lot of the time. So now, Kevin, the writing and how the shows are being put together, as we saw, Selena Vega, Bad Bunny, Savio Vega being involved, Carlito, a good main event with big stars. These shows are being written for an international market to really sink their teeth into it and really have a good time at these events, which as a viewer, for me at least, makes it so much more entertaining to watch. This was great fun. This was an enjoyable event because of the crowd as well as the writing and the talent. So yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd give the show a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good. It's definitely going to be in the conversation for the best PLE of the year. It's just going to be an interesting conversation because there's quite a few good PLEs that we've seen already. So it's going to be fun doing like a 2023 reflection after, I assume, which we're going to have even shows that are just as good, if not better than this. So yeah, I thought it was great. For Backlash, probably haven't seen a Backlash this good since like 2007, probably, realistically. Yeah, what more can I say?
I got a couple things actually. Damien Priest, can we just address this?
Yes.
We watched what happened at Backlash this year. Bad Bunny, this perfect atmosphere, awesome. Remember 2 years ago, Kevin, at Backlash? Damien Priest versus The Miz, the zombie lumberjack match.
We've come a long way, haven't we? Come a long way.
Sponsored by, I wrote the movie down, sponsored by Dave Batista's Army of the Dead promotion, the zombie lumberjack match, starring Damien Priest versus Mike the Miz Mizanin.
Man, we've come a long way.
Remember Zombies ate the Miz and he did his ACL, then was back like a month later?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, of course. He needed an injury, bro, from Miz and Mrs.
Nonsense. And the year before that, they tried the greatest wrestling match ever with Edge and Orton, which was a great match, but the rest of the show was utterly just filler. And then before that, I mean, what's even a Backlash you can remember? Like, realistically. I remember 2018 because it sucked, and that's about it. And then going beyond that, it's like you're looking at late 2000s. You mentioned 07 before. You have to really dig into the archives to find that someone was good. This show will always have a legacy. It'll be the Puerto Rico show, the Bad Bunny, event. This will be the one where Cody made Brock bleed everywhere, and the one where maybe Bianca Belair was turned on, maybe going forward. So this show will have a legacy, I feel. And one other thing I want to mention as well, there was a dope video package for Gunther before the main event that was like 4 minutes long. That it made him seem like this, it made him seem like Brock Lesnar in his prime. Like the way they did this video package.
Yeah, it was really good. That was good. Yeah. It
made him seem so this was like some video packages like kind of there. This one made him seem so legit, which was great. So there was that. Any other thoughts, Kevin? Anything else?
Not really. Not really. I'm thinking. Um, overall, the show lived up to the hype, and that's good. It's good to see. I mean, it even goes to show like when you get a good match out of like Selena Vega and Rhea Ripley, it goes to show what a little bit of meaning and a little bit of effort that when that goes into the undercard matches, what that can do for an entire pay per view.
You reckon if that match, if they do Selena versus Rhea Ripley and it's in like Corpus Christi for Backlash in front of 11,000 Americans, that match is anywhere near as memorable or good?
It wouldn't be as memorable, but I think with just the effort that the Triple H regime puts into undercard matches, I think it would at least have been a fun match. But it's definitely a very specific, circumstance specific match.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, still, like there's effort into Bianca Belair and Io Sky, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Well,
Anything else you want to add, Pal?
That's really all I've got. I mean, the one thing I was going to mention, we were talking about Lashley. There was another DraftKings with Lashley and Big E. And I was watching it. This was like 2.5 hours in the show. I'm thinking this guy should be like either a world champion or in the main event scene. Instead, he's a filler guy in the US title, and he's doing DraftKings with Big E, predicting how many F5s Brock Lesnar will hit, and how will Cody take the first fall, or will Brock take the first fall? It's like, come on. But we've addressed Lashley. We've been there. So that's all I had. That's my notes. That's my breakdown. Any final thoughts from you, pal? Or are we ready to get out of here?
Oh, let's get out of here. Yeah, that's it. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys on the next one. Probably might have a regular episode of Elite Heat going on, or this might be the weekly episode. I think this will probably be this week's episode, and then we'll come back next week with something just most vicious and brutal and hard hitting that we can get, pal. So,
yeah.
All right, guys. Peace.